Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and this is a guide video in which you'll see what is included in your punch needle kits, what you might need apart from what is included in the kit, and how are we going to start about and begin punch needling. So let's get into this guide video. So after you open your box, you will see that there is a written instruction manual in there. Right now I'm not showing it here since it's a guide video. Inside the kit you will have your chosen design which you bought, and this is one of my designs. If you bought this, you will have a similar design like this on a page. The printing will be much better. My printer was not working. And you'll also have a punch needle if it's your first time, and I provide the laver punch needle. You can see there will be 3 needles, a threader and the punch needle handle. And you'll also have a 6-inch wooden hoop. The hoop and the punch needle is optional. So if you are a beginner and doing it for the first time, you can choose the option with the punch needle and the hoop, or you can choose an option without them, and the price will differ accordingly. So for this design, apart from the punch needle and the hoop, you will also receive the colors for the design. So there will be a color if you have chosen this design, this daisy. So you will have a color for the background, the flower and the middle part. And for this video I have chosen the background as blue, the petals will be pink, and the center of the flower will be white. And yes, you will also receive colors of your choosing, and ample amount of colors which will be enough for your punch needle mug rug. And next thing you will see in your kit is monk's cloth. This is preferably the most used fabric, I can say, in punch needling, and I have provided this in the kit. You will also see the edges are sealed with masking tape because monk's cloth tends to fray a lot. To avoid that, I have already sealed the edges to give it a finished and cleaner look, and it will be much easier to work with the fabric. You will receive an approximately 8 by 8 inch of square cloth, and its amount, the space around here is ample for the rug that you are going to make. Also for the backing, I've provided a felt sheet, and this will be the backing and the last part which you glue after you're done with the mug rug. These are all the things that will be included in your kit. A felt sheet for the backing, monk's cloth for the fabric you use while punch needling, the design for your punch needle, and an embroidery hoop if you choose to buy those, and the yarn for the colors you choose for the design, as well as a written manual instruction on how to punch needle. Now these were the things that will be included in the kit. The things that is not included in the kit and you have to have in your home or are a pair of scissors, some fabric glue, or I use PVA glue to glue the backing after you're done with the mug rug. I use a hot glue gun to ensure and seal the edges before I put the backing in, and it also helps to put the felt backing on the mug rug. A hot glue gun helps. You can also use PVA glue, but I prefer this, so I'm including this in this video. I also keep a tweezer in handy. This is optional, and this is when you have loops that are over. It is when you have loops that are tangled and are of different colors and you have to untangle them. This helps. It's optional. It does not have a very necessary purpose, but I use it just in case. Now to start your punch needle rug, your mug rug, The things you need at hand are your yarn, the design, your cloth and the punch needle. So and also your hoop. So to set up the punch needle, you can see that there is this handle here, and then you have a threader, and you have 3 sizes of needles. You can see. So the yarn which is provided with the kit goes with the largest of the 3 needles, and you can see this is, as you can see these, so this is the largest of the 3. You can keep the 2 thin needles aside in the pack again. And now we are going to attach the needle with the handle. So you have to unfasten this screw as like this, and then you will take the needle, and you can see here there's space to insert the needle in the handle. You just have to insert the needle. You have to unscrew the screw all the way, and you can see the needle will go inside easily. And for the height of the needle, I choose it to be about 2.2 centimeters, and I prefer that height of the needle. So I have my ruler here, and I will measure the needle length to be about 2.2 centimeters. Yes, so this is roughly the needle size. You can measure it with your ruler, and then hold the needle like that and screw this as tightly as possible, so the needle doesn't move. And this is how you set up your punch needle to start your mug rug. Now, keeping the punch needle and the threader aside for the time being, first we will now unfasten the screw for the hoop and attach the cloth with the hoop so that we can start the mug rug. And you have to loosen the screw as much as possible so you can easily attach the cloth in the hoop. You can see around the center of the cloth, and then you place the smaller ring, and as you do while embroidering, you just have to attach this first and then flip it, take the screw, hold it here and fasten this handle as tightly as possible. You have to hold this as tightly as possible and then move this handle clockwise to fasten the fabric inside the hoop, and it will look like this. It should have a drum-like effect, and if you think it's not tight enough, just flip the hoop like this and just pull the fabric inside so that it tightens even more, not too much so the hoop does not unravel. Just enough that you know that the fabric is stretching enough. The tighter the fabric will be, the easier it will be for you to punch the needle inside the fabric. You can see, if you can hear that, it's like a drum and it has to be tight. If the fabric is loose, you will be having difficulty while punching in the fabric, and the yarn may also not hold. So attach the fabric as tight as possible, and you can just stretch this, because we have to stretch this before we trace the design on this, because if you stretch it after, the design might lose its shape if it's a circular design or anything. So let's just tighten the fabric as much as we can. Like this. And and you can see there will be a drum like effect. Now we can start to trace the design. There are ways you can trace the design, like you can keep your camera flash under the design and then you can trace it, or you can have an open window with bright light. I personally use my laptop screen and I will show you how. It's worked for me and I prefer it that way. And yes, I also draw the design on the opposite side of the hoop, and this will be my front side and this will be my working side, because the inner side helps me guide the punch needle as I want. So let's trace this design. This works for me, and I have my laptop screen on the brightest light, and now I have kept the design here. Now I will place my monk's cloth on here and faintly I can see the design. For this flower, right now I am not able to see the flower as clearly as I want. So what I'll do is remove this and trace an outline thicker around the flower with my permanent marker, so that I am able to trace it on the fabric even more easily. I have traced my design, don't worry. The design I provide in the kit will be much bolder and it will be easier to trace. Now let's trace this design on my fabric, and as you can see, it's very much easier to trace the design here. So let's do it. I have traced my design. You can see I will just adjust the circle a little more so that it's equal and even. Usually when I draw a circle for my mug rugs, I have this permanent bowl to draw a circle around it, so it helps me keep the mug rug in size. And if you have something circular you want, you can easily draw around this design. You might as well. This also works. So after we have traced the design, now let's get into threading the yarn into the punch needle to start our mug rug. For the center of the flower, I chose the color white. And yes, while punch needling, make sure that your yarn is loose and you have enough untangled and loose yarn so that it does not have a tension while working. The looser the yarn, the easier it will be for you to do your punch needling. Now we have a threader with the punch needle set, and this is how it is. One end is loose and the other end has a loop in it. So now we take our punch needle and you will, with your index finger, close the bigger hole of the punch needle here. Now after you have closed this bigger hole of your punch needle with your the index finger, you take the loop side of the threader and insert it in this small hole of your punch needle all the way through the back. If the threader does not go in one go, just squeeze the tip of the threader and make it small, and then you can pass it through this hole of your needle and make sure it goes all the way to the end of the handle and comes out of it like this. Now make sure this end remains out of the needle. and you twist this and open a little bit of the threader like this, so that now you can thread your yarn through it. Take the end of your yarn, pass it through this loop like this, and then pull this end like this, and you will see that the yarn is threaded. And now you can remove your threader and keep it aside. This is basically a piece of wire, so if you happen to lose it some point, just grab a long piece of wire, fold it in half, and it'll work just as safe. Now to start the mug rug, we are going to start from the smallest details. I usually do the smallest details first and then go about with the bigger pieces. So let's start with the center of the flower, then we will do the petals of the flower, and then the background. Now for the fun part, now we have threaded the needle, and you can see that the yarn goes from this area to the back of the small hole of the needle, and we have to keep it that way. Just a little tail about 1 inch should be at the end of this punch needle. Now to start your punch needling, you have to hold your punch needle like a pencil and make sure that the bigger opening of the punch needle faces away from you towards the direction you are punching to, and this end should be facing towards you, as well as this yarn end should be towards you. So leaving a little end, let's take our fabric, and you can see here we will start, and you can see that the bigger punch needle area is facing away, and then we punch it till this hilt, all the way till the handle. We will punch it. The needle should go all the way through the fabric until the hilt, and when you take out the needle, just take it out gently and graze the fabric forward with the needle, and then punch again. You can see, you take out the needle, graze it, and then punch. Again, you take out your punch needle, graze it, and then punch. You can see that the direction of the needle facing is away, and then again you punch just a little bit. Don't leave too much gap between each punch, so that the loop on the other side comes like this, and while you're doing it, it won't look nice. Yes, after you are done with the whole project, then it will look amazing, because everyone can do this. And yes, while punch needling, half of the project does not look as you think it should, but don't worry, as you go along with this, you will get it, and it becomes much more easier. You can see, while rotating, just rotate the hoop you're holding, and then continue punch needling just like this. You can see that the needle is facing that side. The bigger opening of the needle is always facing the opposite side towards the direction we are going. Now once you are done with the outer rim of the inner circle, you just have to continue this along the area of this in a circular manner, just like that. So take out your punch needle, not all the way through, and then move forward and punch your fabric just like this. Make sure to keep your stitches a little close so that there are no gaps on the other side, which will be your front side of your mug rug. I've reached at the center of my circle, and this is how it will look. Now to remove this, to start a new color, you have to keep two fingers here like this, your index and your middle finger between, and your needle should be between. Just hold it slightly and then remove this gently, the needle, and remove your hand from behind and gently press on the yarn here and remove the needle slightly. Then take your pair of scissors and you can see this end. Just cut it near to the fabric. It won't unravel your mug rug, the fabric. It won't unravel your yarn, and you can leave this little end. Also, you can snip the yarn from which you started, and this is how your center is going to look. This will be glued, so don't worry about this end. And this is how your center will be looking. You can see a little gap here that can be tweaked with our tweezers. Good thing this gap showed, so I can show you. If you need, you can use your tweezers and then shift the yarn here and there, and no gaps. And this is how the behind is looking. So let's start with our petal now. It's just the same process. The colors will change, and yes, the pattern will change because you did a circle. Now you're going to fill this whole thing. The best way to do this is first you do the lines so that you know where you have to fill with the colors, and then you start with the inner body. Let's start with the petal now. I'll also show you again how to thread your yarn with the second color. Now again, take your threader and your needle and the color for your petals. Again, you have to close this bigger loop of the needle with your index, then take your loop side wire and put it through this small circle hole of the needle. All the way to the end of the needle like this, and keep this side open. Turn your needle, open the wire so that you can put your yarn through this, and take your yarn, put it through this wire, and then pull the end of the threader all the way till your yarn comes out of the holes of the needle. Keep your threader aside, and this is how your yarn is threaded in your needle. Let's start. I'll lose my yarn a little. Keep it slack. And now we will start with the petal. Keep about an inch, again facing the bigger loop or the bigger hole of the punch needle away from you when you start. And we will start punching from here all the way till the hilt of the needle, and then take out the needle, graze your fabric and move it forward and punch again. And yes, if you don't get it all the way and you're seeing that it's coming loose or something, you can just take out your fabric and pull out the yarn Monk's cloth is very forgiving. Just scratch this fabric like this and you can see it's closed up again. Take your needle, pull the yarn again, and you can easily start over again. Just make sure you don't unravel it a lot. It's a fabric, it can be undone at least 4 to 5 times. I have done it myself, so don't worry about getting it right in the first place. You can always unravel your yarn and start over again like this. And if this end is bothering you while you are punch needling, you can also snip it off at the start after you have done a little bit. It won't matter, it won't come off. You can continue punch needling. I will come back to you when I have done the rim of this flower. Now again we can see that we are done with the border of the flower. Now to continue punch needling, it's just the same. You have to take out the needle from the fabric just a little bit and again graze it with the fabric. Graze it with the needle on the fabric and then continue punching forward just a little bit further so that you can start a new line and continue punch needling. You can see how close the next line of stitches are, so that it's very close. And also one of these things happens, don't worry if something like this happen, a yarn fiber is elongated, you just can snip it like this and it won't even show. Good thing it happened. I can show you these mistakes and how you can avoid them or just fix them while you are working. Now we can continue our punch needling. It's the same process all along. As much as you do it, you'll get used to it and it'll become easier. Make sure to keep your yarn slack at all times. I will get back to you when I am done with the flower as well as the background. It is the same, it goes as I told you how these start and end, and I will meet you after I'm done punch needling with this mug rug to show you how to do the backing and how to remove the hoop and the fabric and everything. I have done this much of the flower, and while doing this I thought why not also put this in the guide video. As you can see, the empty space is getting smaller and smaller, and this area is much closer. So if you feel like you can't move forward, you just want to fill this area first, just rotate your fabric and in the direction of the needle and just first fill in the area you like. You can go with this in any direction you like, and I will also show you how to snip the yarn of the same color you're working on and start in a different area so that it's easy for you to fill in the color of the desired area. So after we are done with filling in this first petal, again just gently pull the needle and hold it here with your thumb, the yarn, and then pull the needle away. Snip the yarn here where you are ending. Keep it short, no worries, it won't unravel. Leave the tail about an inch, and again choose an area from where you want to start again and start punch needling from there. Even if it's the same color, it would be easier for you. You can continue filling the areas of the flower or any design that you're doing. It's not necessary that you have to start from one end and have to finish the other. You can snip your fabric, you can snip your yarn as many times you want and start in a different space just to fill the area you want, even if it's the same color. I'm done with the back of the flower, and if I turn around now, I can see that there are two long fibers that came through while punch needling. It happens, the yarn fibers can get tangled in the punch needle. No need to worry about that. Just take the loop which has come out and snip it at the height of your punch needle, and it's like it never happened. And also again you can see here the white is going in the pink. For that we have a tweezer again, and just tweak this, pull the loop here, adjust it, push it in so that it looks like it's here and not overlapping with the pink. Be gentle with it. It looks much better now. These things happen while you're punch needling and it's very normal. So this is how the flower is looking. Let's start with the background and finish our mug coaster after that. I'm done with the mug rug, guys, and let's see how the front is looking. This is how it's looking. As you can see here, like if you want you can tweak the loops here like this. Just pull them into places to make it a little more even. This is how our mug rug is looking, guys. Now we will move to the part where we do the backing of this mug rug. So we'll glue this whole area, but we won't take the fabric out from the hoop because it's much more easier to glue the back while it's still stretched out and fixed to a certain place in the hoop. So let's grab our paintbrush, any brush you like, and our glue, a fabric glue. I use PVA glue, anything, and let's do the backing of the mug rug. So I have my glue here with me, and I use a flat paint brush. It's easier for me to apply the glue. Now let's apply the glue at the back of the mug rug. Now I have applied the glue, and now we are going to leave this for a couple of hours, at least 3 to 4 hours, or until the glue dries and it's not looking like you have applied glue at all. For example, this is one of my mug rugs I did earlier, and as you can see, this is the back and it's glued, but it does not look like it's glued. So you have to wait till the glue dries and becomes transparent. So leave it for a couple of hours, and then we will come back and do the backing of the mug rug. The back of my mug rug is all dry, and now I have kept my hot glue gun to heat. So let's take out the fabric from the hoop to start backing our mug rug. You can keep your hoop aside. Now, as you can see, this is our front side, the loop side, and this is the back. Now we'll leave at least 1 to 1.5 centimeters space all around the mug poster, and then cut the fabric so that we can wrap the backing fabric as well as the monk's cloth to secure the mug rug. You can keep this fabric aside because we don't need this anymore. This is how it will look after you have cut it from the fabric. Now, to stick the whole edge neatly around, since it's a circle, we have to cut them in small pieces, the edges, so that we can glue it with the hot glue gun. So for that, just take your scissors and snip it till the edge, like this, small pieces. Now you can see all of these small pieces will be, I'll apply glue here, and then we'll fold this and stick this so that the edges are smooth and neat and no cloth is being frayed. So I have my glue gun here, Let's start applying the glue. Be careful with the hot glue gun. If you're not used to it, don't let it touch your fingers. For the last backing, take your felt sheet and we'll use this to stick this side on the felt sheet. So now with the glue gun, you have to work a little fast for this. Just apply the hot glue on as much as you can. On the edges. And then just take this, be careful, and take your felt sheet and in the middle just press this nicely. Now we are going to cut this felt sheet around the mug rug. So we're just going to be careful with the edges, like this. Cut the felt sheet as near as you can from the edges to give it a finished and clean look. Now our mug rug is almost done. If you want to leave it like this, it's fine. What I do is, as you can see, these edges are still a little bit not stuck here, loose. I just take my hot glue gun again and very carefully fill in these gaps with the hot glue and let them stick. And don't press it too much or it will spill and can touch your fingers. We don't want that. So very carefully I just stick it so the edges are also sealed. This is our mug rug done. Keep it aside, let the hot glue set and you have your own mug rug done. And that will be it for this guide video, guys. I hope you liked it. It was helpful and you were able to make your own very cute, awesome looking mug rug. And I will see you in my next video. Thank you. Please like this if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.